Namaste. So we're going to start class today in a lovely seated meditation where we're going to explore square breathing, pranayama yogic breath breathing exercise. So come to a comfortable seated position, either sitting on a cushion from your settee or a yoga block if you have one. And depending on how you're feeling today, just find a comfortable seated position that feels the best for you today. That might mean that you feel better and more comfortable having the legs crossed. Or maybe you prefer to have the legs extended all the way out in front. If you do that, and you need to take a rolled blanket just to support the back of the thighs, just to release out through the hamstrings, then please do that. So just take a moment just to find a comfortable seated position. Allow the spine to lengthen. Adjust the sitting bones comfortably on top of your cushion or on your block so that your sitting bones feel as comfortable as they possibly can. And as we start to root down through our sitting bones, we start to bring that super length through the spine, up through the neck, up through the crown of the head. We're going to come into a mudra, which we've not done before, called Bhairav. And we're just going to release the back of our hands on top of one another. But it's really important that your left hand is the one that's the most upright and towards you. The right hand's on the bottom. And as you do that, just release the hands down into your lap. And you can still do this if the legs are extended out in front. Encourage the chest to open. And please allow your eyes just to close. And as the eyes close, just bringing your awareness into the here and the now. Every inhale, really an opportunity to open the chest, and every exhale, an opportunity to relax and release. So continue to do that a couple more times. Bringing the mind inward. Bring the mind inwards to the easy in and out of the breath. So as we start our class today, this breathing exercise that we're just doing now, just being aware of the breath, actually might be enough. You might want to explore the square breathing in a moment with me. And as with any pranayama practice, if as we go into the square breathing it doesn't suit you for whatever reason, maybe as we go through the square breathing exercise it might make you feel a little bit more panicky or claustrophobic, then stop doing that. Just return to how we're sitting now. Just every inhale and opportunities to open. Every exhale an opportunity to relax and release. So our hands in this mudra is said to balance the right and the left hemispheres of the brain. It's meant to concentrate the energy flow through the body as we come into our meditation. And if any time you need to just release your hand from this mudra, then please do so. of our square breathing. If you would like to join in with me on your next inhale, take your inhale to 4 counts on the way in. And at the top of your inhale, we're going to pause. We're going to keep the lungs nice and full for a count of 4. As we exhale, exhale the breath out of the lungs for a count of 4. And as we reach the top of our exhale, we pause here with the lungs empty for 4. Let's repeat that. So we're going to inhale for 4. Pause at the top of your inhale with the lungs nice and full for 4. Exhaling for 4. As we reach the top of our exhale, pause with the lungs empty for 4. So carry on repeating that square cycle with your own breath, coming back to normal breath anytime you need to. The next time you're in that space, so you're in that pause for 4 after your last exhale, and just allow the breath to return back to normal. And as the breath returns back to normal, just observing how the breath feels, how the body feels, how the mind feels. Slowly, carefully, we're going to start to blink the eyes open. So just tuck your chin down towards your chest. So when you start to open the eyes, your gaze is down towards your mat. Blinking a couple of times, allowing the light just to filter back in. Bringing your gaze all the way back up to normal. Releasing the hands. We're going to come into our next pose. So you can remain in your seated position with your legs extended out in front, or a nice comfortable cross-leg position, or you can remove your cushion, your block, and come into Virasana if the knees will allow. And from here, I'm going to turn my back, the back of my hand, so the back of my right hand to the back of the mat, so that my wrist is facing towards you, towards the camera, and then I'm going to raise my left arm. When you're ready, I'm going to push down into my right hand, taking my left arm all the way over, and this is going to be my inhale. As I exhale, just coming out of that bend through the right wrist, releasing the left arm, left hand, I'm going to take my left ear to my left shoulder. So what we're doing here, we're looking after this median nerve, a very important nerve that goes all the way through the arm, down through the lower arm, the wrist into the hand, originating from the neck. So we're just flossing that median nerve. So continue when you're ready, keeping that left ear to the left shoulder. This is going to be our last one. Shoulder, bring the neck and the head very carefully back. And let's swap this round to the other side. So turn the back of your left hand so the fingers are towards the back of the mat and your left wrist is pointing the camera. You're going to raise up through the right hand, right arm. Inhale, push down through that left hand. You take a nice super side bend over towards the left. And as you exhale, releasing that right arm, right hand, and then taking your right ear to your right shoulder. And continue. Slowly, carefully. And this is going to be our last one. Releasing out that left hand, taking the right ear to the right shoulder. And then carefully bring in your neck, your head back to center. We're going to get ready to come onto all fours. So we're going to explore a cat-cow curl where we're going to be flossing the spinal cord, which is always a good thing to do. And our cat-cow is going to look a little bit different to how we usually do it. So make sure you've got some padding for your knees. Fold up your blanket just to pad out the knees comfortably and come into an all fours position. So we want the fingers to be spread apart, the wrists directly underneath the shoulders. Near our elbows facing one another, and ensure that the knees feel comfortable here. Push the earth away, creating space between the shoulders and the ears. We've got super length all the way through the spine, up through the neck, up through the crown of our head. So usually in our cat-cow curls, on our inhale we drop the belly, lift the sternum and our gaze forward. So that's our cow. This time as we floss the spinal cord, on our inhale we're going to do exactly the same with the spine, but we're going to tuck the neck. And then as we exhale, we arch the back into cat. And then we're going to take our gaze forward. So it's a little bit, well, it's opposite to what we usually do. So it takes a little while to actually get used to how this goes. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the sternum, tuck the chin. As you exhale, lengthen out through the neck, take your gaze towards the front and arch the back. And then continue when you're ready. If you get confused, just give yourself a minute. So inhale, we drop the belly, lift the sternum, but we tuck our chin, tuck the neck. As we exhale, we arch the back into cat, but we extend, look out in front. And it feels like that we're a little bit tight and pinching up around the shoulders, but I promise this is a really good movement for our delicate spinal cord. After our next exhale, let's come back to a lovely neutral spine. Remove the blanket from your knees. Coming back onto all fours. We're going to inhale here. Drop the belly, lift the sternum and our gaze forward this time. As we exhale, sink down into child's pose. Sink the hips down towards the heels, release the neck and the head. Inhale, come back onto all fours. Take your gaze all the way out in front. So we drop the belly, lift the sternum and our gaze forward. As we exhale, we round through the back. Drop the hips down towards the heels. Let's do a few more of these. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the sternum and our gaze forward on all fours. Exhale, arch round the back. Sit the hips down, straighten, lengthen out through the arms, release the head. 2 more. And our last one. Resting here for a moment in our child's pose. Bring some movement into the wrists, hands and fingers. Circling the fingers. Wiggling the fingers, circling around through the wrists. Take a nice full inhale here. And as you exhale, come in all the way back up onto all fours. Arranging through the fingers, hands, wrists and arms. Pushing the earth away, create that lovely space around the shoulders, shoulders to the ears. Super length through the spine. Let's tuck the toes under. When you're ready, let's push back and up into downward facing dog. Take a moment here, nice inhale. Super long exhale. Bending the knees if you need to. Drawing the ribs towards the thighs. Releasing the crown of the head towards the mat. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Another 2. Last exhale, bend the knees, look towards your hands and start to walk the feet towards the top of the mat. You're going to inhale, slide the hands up, the shins just below the knees, lengthen out through the spine, out through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, slide the hands back down, coming into your forward fold. Inhale, slide the hands back up the shins, extend out through the spine, out through the crown of the head. Exhale. One more of these. Inhale. Slide the hands up the shins, resting below the knees, lengthening out through the spine. Exhale, release out. Let's just hang here for a moment, breathing. Bending the knees, looking after the spine. The next time we inhale, let's push down to the feet. Let's take the arms all the way up to the sides. Lengthening through the sides of the body, take the arms, hands and fingers all the way up. As we exhale, bend the knees, forward fold again. Place the hands either side of the feet. Place the hands here, we're going to step back into our downward facing dog. Take a moment, make sure your downward facing dog is comfortable. Bending the knees again, drawing the ribs towards the thighs, crown of the head towards the mat. Let's walk the dog here. Go back into your static downward facing dog. A couple of nice deep breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then 2 more. After your next exhale, slowly, carefully lower the knees down. Take a blanket if you need to. Come back into your child's pose. Sit the hips down towards the heels, out. Stretch the arms in front and bring movement and motion again to your fingers, hands and wrists. Inhale here. And as you exhale, slowly, carefully allow the spine to uncurl, coming all the way up. So I'm going to come into a variation of low lunge now that is it's a lovely variation that starts to just explore our sciatica nerve, which runs from the lower part of our spine all the way down our leg into the bottom of our foot. And if we suffer with sciatica, as I do, this is a welcome relief. So what you will need is a blanket for your knees, and you will need a little bit of height to bring the floor towards you. So I'm going to use 2 yoga bricks for this. Now I know that some of you haven't got these at home, but you may be able to use, providing that you exercise caution, 2 small hardback books. You might want to have them on the longer side, or you might want to actually just have a little bit of height from the floor and have them on their flat side. So if you get 2 pieces of equipment that can bring the floor to you, 2 yoga bricks, 2 hardback books, find your blanket. We're going to come into a comfortable high heel. And you want your yoga bricks, your yoga books in this instance, just on the inside edges of your mat. And you're going to come into a comfortable high kneel. So really ensuring that you've got that adequate padding underneath the knees. The knees are hip width apart, and you can start to lengthen through the spine, the sides of the body as you release the shoulders, open the chest. And you're going to step forward with your right foot. So we want that nice right angle through that right knee, right thigh. We want the foot to be directly underneath the knee. And then from here, we're going to lean forward. And we're either going to find the floor on our fingertips, or we're going to find whatever we're using to bring the floor a little bit closer to us. And as we do that, just start to just slide the knee back slightly so you can release the top of that left foot on the floor behind you. From here, we're going to inhale. We're going to start to lengthen out through the chest and sink the hips down towards the floor. Extend the crown of the head towards the sky. As you exhale, you're going to sink the hips back. You're going to extend out through that right leg, tuck the toe, and if it feels okay, tuck the chin. Inhale. Drop the hips, lift the chest, lift your gaze. Exhale. Point the toe on the right foot, tuck your chin. So let's continue. And another 2. Slowly, carefully. On your exhale, and you're sitting your hips down towards the direction of your heels, that creates space around the pelvis, so we can slide that right knee out to the side and bring it back. And then from here, let's come back into a comfortable high kneel. So we're going to do exactly the same. Do it on the other side now. So ensure that you're in a comfortable high kneel. You're lengthening through the spine, release the shoulders, open the chest. Step forward with that left foot. Make sure we've got that nice right angle through the left leg. Left ankle directly beneath the left knee. And then from here, tip forward. And with your hands, find whatever you're using to bring the floor a little bit closer to you. Maybe the fingers reach the floor. And just slide that right knee back slightly so you can release through the right leg. And the top of that right foot is on the mat behind you. We're going to inhale, we're going to drop the hips, lift the chest, take your gaze all the way out in front. As you exhale, sink the hips back towards that right heel, extending out through the left leg, point the left toes and maybe tuck your chin. So let's continue. Inhale. Exhale. And two more. Last exhale. Just finish here with the hips down towards that right heel. That creates space so we can bring the left knee round. We're going to sit the hips down towards the heels slowly, carefully. Let's find our child's pose. Taking the arms out in front, releasing through the neck and the head. Maybe you want to take a seated child's pose. If the knees have gone through it quite enough, thank you for that last pose. Just come into a seated child's pose. When you bend up the knees, just release the head down. Inhale. As you exhale, slowly, carefully, once again, uncurling the spine, coming up nice and slow. You're going to remove everything from your mats. You're going to come back onto all fours. Into our final downward facing dog. So separate the fingers. Ensure that you feel comfortable through the hands, pads the hands. Inner elbows facing one another. You've got that lovely length through the spine. Push the earth away. Draw the navel in towards the spine. Tap the toes under. Shift the weight back. Come up into your downward facing dog. Taking a moment just to walk the dog here. Treading each heel down towards the earth. Drawing the ribs towards the thighs. Got nice active shoulders, but release the neck and the head totally. Into a static downward facing dog when you're ready. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. From here, bend your knees, look towards your hands, taking as many steps as you need. Walk the feet towards the hands, hands towards the feet. Come into your forward fold, your Uttanasana. Just arranging arms and hands where they feel the most comfortable, either the inner elbows, finding the hands to the back of the legs, your calf muscles. Maybe the hands are on top of the feet, whatever feels comfortable here. Look after the spine, bend the knees, draw the chest towards the top of the thighs, releasing the neck and the head totally. Breathe in nice and deeply. Whatever variation of Uttanasana that you're doing, come back to center, release the hands. Bend the knees up to start to stack each vertebrae on top of one another, allowing fingers, hands and arms to be heavy. Really push down into the feet, using that core strength. Let the transition back to standing nice and safely. The last thing to come up will be our neck and our head. And then we're able to straighten out through the legs. Straighten out through the knees. You're going to come to the back of your mat. You're going to come into a variation of Virabhadrasana 1. So find your comfortable Tadasana. So look down at your feet, make sure the feet are hip width apart. around through the soles of the feet, four corners of the feet, ensuring that all the toes feel like they're connected to the earth. From here, let's draw that energy up from the earth, that Padabandha energy, up through the feet, up through the legs. We activate the legs, lift the kneecaps, thighs are firm. Pelvis neutral, once again lengthening through the spine, the sides of the body. Soften and releasing the shoulders, extending the crown of the head all the way up towards the sky. We're going to step forward with our left foot, and depending on how the legs and the hips are feeling, I'd like you to come on to the ball of your right foot. So you can see my heel is lifted off the mat. If that really doesn't suit you, then place that right foot down onto the mat, but out at an angle of 45 degrees. Take your left foot all the way up to the edge of the mat, and then when you're ready, you're going to come into a comfortable bend through that left knee, making sure that left knee is directly above the ankle. And make sure you feel comfortable through the right foot, whatever's going on with that right foot. Maybe you're on the ball of the foot, or maybe the foot is flush down onto the floor. Take your hands onto your hips, hips feel nice and square. If you've got the heel off the floor on that right foot, really engage through that right leg, so the right leg's nice and active. So it's not sort of bent and there's no energy going through the toes all the way through that right leg. So we really push the back of that right knee towards the back of the room. The hips are nice and square. We're going to raise up through the arms. We're going to come into something called elbow taps. So from here we're going to inhale. As we exhale, we're going to tip forward. We're going to take the arms underneath that left thigh and see if we can take our hands onto the elbows. Inhale, so it challenges our balance quite a little bit, so keep drawing the navel in towards the spine to get that core connection. Exhale as you tip forward. Let's do a few more. And this is going to be our last one. Inhaling here. Exhale, tip forward. So come all the way up and bring your hands to Namaste, into heart space. Make sure you're comfortable still through that right leg, right foot. With the hands at heart space, you're going to tip forward. We're going to come into Paravita, Parsvakonasana. Can't even say it today. So the hands are at heart space. When you're ready, let's bring our right elbow towards the outside of our left knee. Pull on that left knee to draw the hands in towards the centre of our chest. Keep breathing. Super spinal rotation. Parsvakonasana. Paravita Parsvakonasana. This is this pose here. Super. Let's slowly, carefully come back to centre. Come all the way up. When you're ready, release the arms and hands. Step back to the back of your mat. Find your mountain pose. Your Uttanasana. We're going to explore that on the other side. So feeling grounded and centered. Sensing the connection with all the toes into the earth. Drawing that Padabandha energy up through the legs, kneecaps lifted. Thighs are firm, extended all the way up through the spine, out through the crown of the head. When you're ready, let's step forward with the right foot. So again, the option, ideally, is to come onto the ball of that left foot. But if you're going to do that, you're going to really need to keep that left leg nice and active. So push the back of that left leg towards the back of the room. Or alternatively, have that left foot nice and safely on the floor, but at an angle of 45 degrees. Take your right foot all the way out to the edge of your mat. And then when you're ready, start to take a bend through that right knee. Right knee is directly above the right ankle. And you're feeling comfortable through that left leg, whatever variation you've got. Take your hands onto your hips. Hips feel nice and square. Draw the navel in towards the spine. You're going to raise the arms up. So remember, we're going to do these elbow taps. So it's a real challenge on the balance. Inhale here. As you exhale, tip forward. Take the hands to the opposite elbow. Inhale. Ooh. few more. And our last one. Exhale. Super. Let's release the arms and hands, come all the way up. Bring your hands to heart space. And then gently withdraw your namaste hands. From here, we're going to tip forward. Check that left leg still feels comfortable, maybe placing the foot on the floor. From here, you're going to take your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Pull on that right knee to bring your hands in towards the centre of your chest. Keep pushing back firmly through that left leg. Into your Paravita Pars Vakonasana. I said it that time. Breathe in, feeling that rotation this side. Inhale here as you exhale. Come back to centre, come all the way up. Release arms and hands, well done. Step back to the back of your mat. Just take a moment here at the back of your mat just to bring some movement back into the ankles and the feet. Just drawing some ankle circles. Just moving the knees out and around. And coming into your middle of your mat facing me. Release out the ankles and the legs a little bit from that challenging warrior one. Small flow combination. From your comfortable Tadasana, your wide stance here. Let's go into a comfortable wide stance. Turn the toes outwards on your left foot, turn the toes in on your right foot to 45 degrees. And take a nice bend through that left knee. So open up through the hip, knees directly above the ankle. We can see the big toe. And then just squat down a little bit further. We want to keep that integrity that we've just made through that left knee. So turn your hips and your ribs towards centre as comfortably as you can. Keep the navel drawing in towards the spine and just take the arms out to Virabhadrasana 2, just releasing the shoulders away from the ears. Turn your gaze over your left hand for a moment. Soften. See if you need to squat down just a fraction further. Bring a flow into this. When you're ready, turn your gaze towards the front of the room. Straighten up through that left leg. Raise the arms, fingertips towards the sky. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Smiling, keep moving. Flowing, opening, breathing, glossing and sliding through those nerves all the time. And the next one's going to be our last one. Inhaling here. Exhale. So keep breathing here, turn the palms towards the earth for a moment. We're going to do something else from this stance. Gaze over your left hand. Check how the hips are feeling. Take a break if you need to. Squatting down a little bit further. So turn your gaze towards me. Turn the palms of your hands towards me. And then what we're going to do, we're going to turn the fingers on the left hand back. Fingers on the right hand forwards. And we're going to floss through the median nerve. So again, just looking after the nerve that runs through the neck, through the shoulders, arms, wrists and hands. And as we take the left hand back, we're going to take our left ear to our left shoulder. And what we're going to do is just keep switching. So we're going to switch the left fingers forward, the right fingers back, and take our right ear to our right shoulder. And then continue, switch. Looking after the upper extremities of the body. That precious network of nerves, our nervous system. I'm not expecting any real strong movements from this. We're just trusting in the process that what we're doing, standing in this stance, moving the fingers and holding our arms in this position, is actually working through that delicate network of nerves. Breathe in, keep switching, change sides in a moment. Bring your head back to centre, releasing arms and hands. Let's straighten up through that left knee. Let's turn the feet and toes all the way around. So have the toes on the right foot out, toes on the left foot in. And just as we did on our left side, let's take a comfortable bend through that right knee. Knees directly above the ankle. We can see the big toe, not losing that integrity through that right knee. Firmly press down through the outside of that left foot. And turn your hips and ribs towards me, maybe squatting down a little bit further. Keep the navel in towards the spine, sink the tailbone down. Raise the arms up, release the shoulders. Turn your gaze over towards your right hand. Inhale, we're going to bring our gaze to the front. Raise up through the arms, hands and fingers, straighten through that right leg. Exhale. Let's continue with this. This is going to be our last one. Inhale, lengthen, reach, exhale. Open up through the chest, palms are facing towards the earth. Take a nice bend through that right knee. Just sink down here for a moment. Turn your gaze towards me. Turn the palms of your hands towards me. So this time we're going to have the fingers on the right hand pointing forwards, fingers on the left hand pointing backwards. You're going to take your right ear to your right shoulder with the right fingers pointing forwards. And then you're going to switch. Left fingers pointing forwards, left ear to left shoulder. Just sink the shoulders away from the ears. Just bring your ear towards the shoulder, and if you can prevent, bring the shoulder towards the ears. It's quite hard to do. There's a natural tendency that we lift up, scrunch up through the shoulder. Switch in, glide in, flossing through that median nerve. A couple more from side to side. Bring our head and chin back to centre, release the arms and hands. Straighten up through that right leg. Toes towards me, let's heel toe back to centre. Place your hands on your hips, feet are hip width apart, bend your knees. Let's draw some lovely hip circles here, slowly, carefully. Direction. So before we just make our way into a super long Shavasana, I want us to look at the health of our SI joints. Our SI joints are really important joints that just are either side of our sacrum, at the our spine, and they're really important for the health of our back. So we're just going to bring some lubrication and some movement into these important joints. So what you will need is your blanket. And what we're going to do is we're going to have it lengthways, but we're going to roll it up into a very tight roll. And I'm going to just do a little bit of work laying on the roll with those SI joints at the bottom of our spine. And then once you've rolled it up very, very tightly, you're just going to place it widthways along your mat. And then from here, we're going to lie down over it. So we want to place this roll of our blanket just around the top of our yoga leggings or jogging bottoms, around the waistband, and that will find the SI joint. So from here, just take a moment as you lay down, the knees bent, soles of the feet onto the floor, just to place that blanket in a comfortable position. Might feel a little bit strange to begin with. And then from here, we're going to bend the knees up over the chest. So just release totally through the upper part of the body. Just take the arms and hands alongside the body, palms facing downwards. And tuck the chin slightly. So with the knees bent up over the chest, we're just going to start to take the knees ever so carefully and slightly over towards the left. So we're not laying all the way down on the top of the left thigh and side of our thigh. We're just finding that SI joint, that knobbly bit of bone towards the left side of our sacrum. And then from here, if that feels okay, we're just going to start to circle both knees. Keep releasing around the shoulders, maybe close the eyes. Very small movements. Just looking after the SI joints, bottom of the spine, but also trying to start to activate this parasympathetic nervous system, which you know that you've heard me talk about quite a lot at the end of our yoga class. We're starting to just try and relax and release as much as we can. And the parasympathetic nervous system plays a very important part of that. So if that feels okay, just keep the right knee where it is and just circle the left knee only. Bring that left knee back to meet the right, and then just gently rock from side to side. We're going to do exactly the same in the moment on the right side. So still ensure that you feel comfortable with your sacrum, those SI joints just resting on this padded blanket. The blanket's position is round the waistband of your trousers. Just rock from side to side. Bring the knees back to centre. And then when you're ready, start to take the knees ever so slightly and carefully over towards the right. So just as we did on the left side, we're not taking the knees all the way over. We're just finding that knobbly bit of bone over towards the right-hand side of our sacrum. And then from here, if it feels okay, just explore as you start to circle both knees. If there's any tightness or tension through the SI joint, you might find it a little bit more tender on one side than the other. So I have a problem with my right SI joint. I know I do. That's where I get my sciatic nerve pain from. So when I'm doing this on my right side, I can actually tell that it feels a little bit more tender. So just be aware of what's going on in your body, how it feels. Come back to centre if you need to. Come off the rolled blanket if you need to. Come straight into Shavasana. If this feels okay and you want to take it a little bit further, just keep the left knee where it is and circle the right knee only. So yes, this is feeling really tender for me, but it feels okay. It feels a nice relief. And release. Circling the right knee only, just small circles. Come back, bring that right knee back towards the left knee and gently rock from side to side. your right arm. You're going to roll all the way over to the right. So just watch your lower back supported by that blanket. Just move that blanket out of the way. Just take a moment here, resting on your right side with your head on that raised arm. A nice inhale here. And as we exhale, bring awareness into your left fingers, your left hand. When you're ready, push down to that left hand. Use that left hand to steady yourself as you slowly, carefully come all the way up. And from here, you're going to come into your Shavasana. So maybe having something for your head, a blanket for the body, and socks on. Anything that you need to feel comfortable and warm. Relaxing and releasing down into our final Shavasana. Arranging the back body comfortably so that the breath can flow naturally. Starting to release through the various features of the face. Start to release your forehead and your eyes. Space in between the eyes and your nose. Releasing the cheekbones, unclenching the jaw, softening the tongue into the base of the mouth. Release through the back of the head and the neck. Allowing the back of the head to sink down into the floor. Integration of our practice here today. Mind, body and spirit. When your mind is noisy, you tend to pick up on the vibration of the world, just like a pool of water. When the water is still, it reflects the moon and the stars. But when the water is noisy, it cannot do that at all. It reflects nothing. So when your mind is noisy, it reflects chaos, confusion. When your mind is still and quiet, it reflects your divinity. slowly, very carefully, just allow awareness to come back into the room. Awareness to come back onto your body, resting on the floor. Allow yourself some small movements into hands and feet, fingers and toes. Moving the fingers, circling the wrists and the ankles. If it feels okay, start to take the arms up and over, or wear a position where the shoulders and the arms feel comfortable. And if the knees are bent, straighten out the legs. Let's take a lovely full body stretch. And stretch out all the way from your fingertips down through the hands, wrists, the arms, through the body, legs, feet and toes. Release the arms. Draw the knees up over the chest into a self-embrace. And gently rock from side to side. Allow your knees to come back to centre. Raise your right arm. When you're ready, roll all the way over onto your right side. Just resting your head on that raised arm. Take a moment. Allow yourself to take a little fuller inhale and a little fuller exhale. Start to bring some mindful attention into your left fingers. Your left hand, when you're ready, push down into that hand. Use that hand to steady yourself. As you push yourself all the way back up to seated. Thank you so much for joining me in